DJ Hoove says, how do you properly set up your turntable for scratching? All the way from Philly, keep doing your thing, homegirl. Back at ya. I can't really explain that without a turntable, but I do have quite a comprehensive tutorial. I'll just put a link in the comments below so you can link out to that. OG10 Speed asks, I had reconstructive surgery on a finger on my record hand and since have no strength to perform faster scratches as well as juggle up to the speed of my other hand. Now I am trying to improve my offhand scratching and the fader will do nothing I tell it to with this finger. What can I do to get back to scratching at maximum power? And I asked him to kind of expand and he says, I mean that I usually scratch with my dominant hand, right hand on the fader, and my left hand, surgery, on the record. I'm trying to become more ambidextrous, but my surgery hand on the fader is brutal. First of all, get well soon. I hope you're healing up. I would recommend speaking to a doctor just to make sure everything is okay. I'm not really qualified to tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing, so just check that out first. But even when you haven't had reconstructive surgery on your hand, if I use my left hand on the fader, I'm actually really brutal. So again, as with the previous question, I just recommend pausing and just slowing everything down and just going back to basics. I know that you probably, because you can scratch with the other hand, you know what you want to do, so when you switch over to the other side, you kind of just want to get into it because you know what you can do, but you're going to have to kind of slow down and retrain yourself. So just start really slow, take deep breaths and go back to basics. Try and have fun and enjoy the process and just work up gradually, and I definitely think you'll get there. This next one's not actually a question, but I'm going to read it because I love it. Chewy DJ says, I love your work, very professional scratching and teaching. Thank you very much from Spain. Thank you. DJ Nikki Duran says, not sure if this is a question or opinion, but I first learned to scratch from a few people, but mostly learned from experimenting on my own. Is it recommended to learn the scratch moves first or play around and see what you can do? Totally with you. I learnt in much the same way. Back in the day we didn't really have YouTube or tutorials. We did have like VHS tapes which you could pick some techniques up from, but it was mostly a case of experimenting, so I think a combination of the two is really useful. Nowadays you can get really detailed instruction. I know in the School of Scratch I've tried to break everything down so you don't have to search around, but at the same time I think sometimes experimentation is missing, and that's really where your kind of own style and flavour can come in. So once you've learnt a few scratches, maybe just like stop learning and just kind of play with it and see what happens. And what I often find, even now, is I find new techniques or new combinations just from kind of forgetting everything I know. So one option is to learn everything and then forget everything and start again. So yeah, hope that makes sense. Have some fun. Let me know how you get on. I love all your coloured vinyl as well, it's awesome. DJ ASIC Official from Israel. Hey Israel. When I just start to scratch, I always hear strong hand on the record. In those days I see 90% with the strong hand on the fader. How do you scratch? And he's actually got 3 questions, so let's answer the first one. So I scratch with my strong hand on the fader. There's no particular reason other than that's what felt comfortable and most natural to me. I think just having kind of finer dexterity with this hand meant I would progress quicker on the fader. But if you have your strong hand on the record, then you can do all kinds of really cool record control like DJ D-Styles and Qbert. That's the kind of way around they scratch. So it's really your choice and it's a really personal decision. I kind of like the space I have between the record and the fader, being with my left hand on the record. If I was the other way around, especially hamster, I'd be kind of quite cramped up. It doesn't really matter, but maybe just experiment and feel out what's right for you.